Welcome to the Way to Play Performance Series, and today you have to be excited because we're talking about one of the most exciting players in the National Football League, and that's DeAndre Hopkins. It's his body control, the way that he's able to spin, twist, turn, and still be one of the most prolific pass catchers in the history of the NFL is what makes him so special. So let's talk about it, let's examine it, and let's get you flipping and turning like DeAndre Hopkins. The body control of DeAndre Hopkins is something to marvel. And let's be honest here. What he's able to do, a band or weight room or whatever it may be, it probably isn't gonna get you to where he's at. But what we can do is get you just a little bit closer. Maybe your level of special may not be his, but maybe you're just trying to go from the JV to the varsity, or go from the varsity starter to all-state honors. You can do that. And if that's your special, let's go get it. Now with body control is often misunderstood. We look at the top end and we see all these graceful, wonderful things happening and we say, wow. But it's really what's happening on the ground that sets the foundation for what's happening in the air. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna take you through a simple movement, a drill, or maybe even some football yoga. Yeah, let's call it that, football yoga. Some football yoga here. I'm gonna put this band under my left midfoot. I'm then going to wrap it around my calf, and I'm gonna take it overhead. And at this point in time, now I'm setting the foundation for what's going to happen in the air. I'm gonna drive my right knee up, and I have to stabilize myself. But now we get creative. We're gonna drive the right hand. Imagine getting tall, reaching for a ball. Now I'm gonna bring it back down. I'm gonna open myself up, and I'm gonna drive up again. I'm gonna bring it back down, and now I'm gonna come across my body and drive and reach. And now here is the DeAndre Hopkins special. I'm gonna get tall and reach backwards. This right here sets the stage for what's going to happen in the air. Because the byproduct of the forces applied through the ground is the wondrous, miraculous, single hand, double hand catches. So if you can work on the bottom, you'll get better at the top. Maybe not DeAndre Hopkins good, but you can definitely become special with who you are as a football player.
Today we're going to be talking about body control and shed some light on why DeAndre Hopkins is so great and how his body control contributes to that greatness. We're going to take one of our favorite exercises. It's basically a core dissociation exercise. Fancy way of saying sometimes you get knocked out of alignment and you got to find a way to get back into alignment. Sometimes our upper body's right and our lower body has to snap back. Sometimes our lower body's right and our upper body has to snap back. It'll all make more sense once we go through this workout. I'm going to take Brian here, have him hold a med ball. It's not necessary you have a med ball, but we like it because it adds a little more stress on the core. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push this med ball to this side. So as you see, his upper body and his lower body are kind of broken apart, the dissociation we're talking about. So what I want Brian to do is snap back into a neutral, strong position. Hence, sometimes you could be going up for a ball and you have to snap back into that good, strong position to run. We could go back this other way. He's gonna snap back towards me. We can push it this way. He's gonna snap back away from me. And I can push it this way, snap back towards me. As I said, sometimes it's the upper body's right. In that case, the lower body was snapping back to this strong neutral position. Sometimes it's your upper body snapping back. You get hit, you're already on a good track, and you need to get back here. So all we're gonna do here is he's gonna stay facing me this whole time, and I'm gonna put a lot of pressure into this ball, and he's fighting it. He's trying to get back to this neutral position, and I'm just gonna release. And what we don't wanna have happen, we wanna have him snap back to this great, strong position. We don't wanna have him snap back all the way this way because he's fighting it too hard, because that would be a lack of body control. All we wanna do is he's fighting, I let go, he snaps back. He's fighting, I let go, he snaps back. So you don't have a med ball, that's fine. Let's go ahead and use the hands first before we even try the band. So just put your hands together, it's fine. We're gonna still get that dissociation, and we're gonna still get back to a strong position. So now he's snapping to you, he's snapping back to me. Same thing, snap it away. Now snapping to me. And then we could just go, the upper body's right, or the lower body's right, upper body's wrong. Good, good. And if you don't have a partner, you don't have a med ball, it's okay, it's something you can get done. We're pretending we're hooking this band up to a wall. This is locked in, we're fixed in, and he's just gonna walk around this. He's pushing it out, snapping back, snapping back. He's rotating with his upper body and snapping back to that good, strong position.
One of the things that gives DeAndre Hopkins such good body control is his balance and his stability while on one leg. Now, it's well known that you need good balance to have good body control, but oftentimes the way we try to build it isn't the best possible way to express it on the football field. Many times people go to the unstable surfaces, whether it be a foam mat or a Bosu ball, to try to build that single leg stability. But what that does is it challenges the ankle and foot to be very mobile and requires the hip to be stable. But when we're on the football field, we're playing on hard packed turf and grass. We need the foot and ankle to be stable and the hip to be mobile. So it's kind of opposite ends of the spectrum. So we're going to give you a single leg mobility movement that's going to build on that stability that we need in the ankle, in the foot, and then provide the mobility in the hip. That's a simple single leg airplane. Now CJ's gonna set up on one leg. We're gonna give you the beginner version first. You're gonna step up on a box. You're gonna be in this hinge position on one leg. The back leg's gonna be long. And now what we're asking CJ to do is he's gonna put force through the ground on this front leg, and he's gonna try to rotate his hips and his upper body at the same time, open and closed. Now this is really challenging that hip to control the movement. The ankle's gonna be really stable. This is how you build functional mobility, functional balance on one leg, and it's gonna translate so much better to that body control. Now, if you need a more advanced version, I suggest highly starting with the beginner version first, but we can go with no support on the back leg. The key here, as CJ sets up, is to keep the back leg long. We're gonna get into that hinge position, and we're gonna drive ourselves open and closed. Now, what you don't want to do is drive with the upper body, but leave the hips behind. You want to make sure that the hips are generating the movement and you're not manufacturing it with the upper body. So this is a great movement. You don't want to do it for a lot of reps because it is tiring, it is challenging. You can reset in between every rep. That's really going to build that stability and that balance that's going to show up on the field.
Body control is a skill that DeAndre Hopkins has mastered in his game. And it's evident that in order to be a good wide receiver where you're catching balls above your head or in different positions, we need body control. So today, all we've done, we put together a simple overhead lunge. So first thing we're gonna do, we're just gonna use a body weight. We're not gonna use a med ball. That's gonna be our advanced part of this particular movement. But all he's gonna do is have his right arm up. He's gonna step out with his left leg, then go into a backward lunge. Right? And because the limbs are far away from the body, we have to control ourselves even more. After that, same arm, going forward and back, okay? Then let's switch it up. Make sure you get both sides. And as we're doing this, make sure you're getting about 3 to 4 reps going back and forth, okay? Maybe about 4 to 5 sets. And it's gonna force you to have to control yourself on the way down and on the way back up, going both ways. Now, if you get really advanced, let's go 2 hands above, right? And as you can see, he has to balance, right? He has to control, he has to find stability, right? And we're building that single leg strength that we need. Now, last but not least, we're gonna add a ball. And it's gonna be hard to maintain this ball. And the way he's gonna maintain this starts from the ground. He has to control his body. He has to be stable here in order to make sure the round ball doesn't fall out of his hand. Good. As you can see, he's doing this very good, but it's a lot harder than it seems. This is a 10-pound med ball. You don't have to go that heavy. If you have a basketball, that can work. Anything that's round, where your body has to stabilize so that ball doesn't fall out of your hand. And just like we did with the overhead, the body weight, you can go 2 balls overhead if you get really advanced.
See, even a former offensive lineman can get hands like DeAndre Hopkins. I probably can't become the acrobat that he is, but maybe you can. So let's get to work and play some football.